And we're back. And yet again, fucking YouTube. So I get the whole live stream set up. I have it scheduled for 8 o'clock. I hit the button go live, which I figured out within the last week how to find the go live button when it's hidden underneath the chat bar. And it somehow reverted to the front camera of my laptop instead of the camera facing me, coming off the cam link. Fucking YouTube. So we had a moment of looking at my ceiling fan, and that's that. But we're back. Joe and Steve, hello, hello. Hetero life mates. John, good to see you. Jeff, good to see you as well. We're like 10 motherfuckers in here already. You guys quick. This YouTube thing has way better turnout than the Facebook's. Yeah, I was waiting on it too, and it fucked up. And just don't get me started on the YouTube thing. They're difficult to work with. The last week I was talking about how the go live button is hidden under the live chat bar, and if I pop out the live chat bar, it comes into a whole different like a different window, and where the bar used to be is a picture of a fucking ninja, and it says there's nothing to see here, we've popped out, but literally behind it is the go live button. So what I do is over on the thumbnail, I highlight the whole thing and drag it to the right, and it slides that out from behind the chat bar. So I figured that out. However, I still can't figure out how to keep it when I set it for the CamLink camera, not to revert to the front camera of my laptop, other than not have a laptop, which that might be the thing. Joe Pastilli, Mike Fiore, two of my favorite New Jerseyans. I only have like 5 New Jerseyans I even like, or 6, maybe 10. So you guys are certainly in the top 10. So with that, the live stream, a little fucked up, but we're working on it. Tonight, we are having some Valkyrie's Choice craft mead. Hey, it's naturally gluten-free. 6.9% alcohol by volume. I don't fucking know if 6.9 is good or not, but I like mead. It tastes like honey. I'm digging it. That is from Glenfell Meadery in Vermont. So good shit. Glenfell Meadery has a, I think it's theirs, a sub-brand called Havoc Mead. I have some of their Psychopath Sour Cherry Mead. I'll try that when the other one's empty. Over on my Instagram, I shared a picture today. I got a 24-pack of variety stuff to try from them, because I like me some mead. Hello, Crystal. Oh, look at that. A thumbs up. You know what? Is there any way to give a thumbs down? Because like you can do that on a regular YouTube video. I just didn't know if you could do it on a live stream. So I have a list of stuff. It's not a big list of stuff. Speaking of the live streams, earlier today I had a pretty big thread over on my personal page asking about computers, because I think I'm going to get a new desktop, and I'm going to take my old desktop and put it up in this room just to live stream with. So there'll be like better quality video. Not that the laptop would have shitty video, but I can stop using my Canon Vexia and use my DSLR. My DSLR normally can only do video for half-hour increments, something to do with tariffs and cameras that are considered still cameras versus video cameras. So to work their way around the tariff, it only can do a half-hour video at a time, which means my live streams can only be a half-hour long, because then it shuts off. Well, Canon recently was given permission and came with like a firmware update so that it can live stream indefinitely but it can only do it through a Windows machine or a Mac. And my laptop is a Chromebook. So I still can't, I can only get a half hour of time from my DSLR through my Chromebook. So I need to run through a Windows machine. Downstairs is my Windows machine that I edit video with. So I'm thinking about getting a new computer to edit video with and take the old computer and put it in this room just to do live streams. That's the long version of the story about why earlier today I was asking computer questions. Hello, Colt, Javier. Hello, sir. Glad to see that you could make it. Yes, indeed, Jeff. The fucking federal government has interfered with my ability to give you a quality live stream. Gary Ernest. Hello, sir. I am not having any Rock God Brewing Company beverages tonight because I don't have any left. Hello, Zach. But Gary, since you checked in recently, I am having this Valkyrie's Choice. What does it say? Original craft mead. It tastes like honey and is 6.9% alcohol by volume. You're my beer guy, so you can tell me if that's like Coors Light or something else. I know there's like really high alcohol stuff, and 6.9 isn't that, but I don't know how little 6.9 is. So, mead crossed off the list. Scott, hello, sir. All right, that shit's crossed off. I actually get to the important stuff. So, as of this evening, I am going to, you're getting first notification. Actually, the fellas in the study group got it first, but I have Patriot Smokes back in stock. I got 30 of them Sunday, one of them days over the weekend. I have not put them live online yet, and I am down to 22. So, oh wait, 7, 8, 19? I think 19. I think I'm down to 19. When I close this live stream out, I'm going to go down to my other computer. I'm going to make the Patriot Smokes live. So if you all want some for pickup at class or somewhere around Bloomsburg, if you're checking in on this live stream, you find out before anybody else and you can order one. Well, this is 6.9, so I guess it's considered low, Gary. Thank you. Like it's technically low. Tastes good. I had a different one, Old Wayfarer, I think, earlier today, and the Valkyrie's Choice now. And when that thing's empty, I'll try the Psycho Pomp Sour Cherry Mead. But that will be after this other one's empty. All right. Look at that. We're 10 minutes in. South Florida checking in. What's the weather like in South Florida? Sounds like it should be warm. It's finally getting warm here. So a month ago, I'd have been envious. Now I'm pretty okay with it. So since the last live stream, I got some sun. In case you can't tell, there's some redness in the face because I didn't sunscreen. Psycho. That's the one you thought they named after me? I guess that's better than the Valkyrie being named after me because I ain't got a very good rack for being a Valkyrie. Tyler Grandstaff, hello, sir. How are you doing? Hopefully you are doing well. One of these crazy fuckers just text me. All right. Enola Gay, I have not tried. Sport Smokes don't make a ton of smoke, but we use them a bunch in training. So like we almost use Sport Smokes as a Patriot Smoke simulator because Patriot Smokes are pretty salty. So we try not to light those off very often because they hit the wallet at a decent rate. a couple of sport smokes. I think it takes like 3 to make this roughly the same amount of smoke, which doesn't make it a great value. But if we're just trying to simulate the fact that there would be a smoke grenade, we can use the less expensive sport smokes to simulate using a real smoke, if that makes sense. Haven't tried an Enola Gay, so I can't comment. Hello, Gabe. Good to see you. It has been a long day here as well. I've been up since 4 o'clock in the morning and didn't go to bed until 11. So I'm tired. So yeah, let me check this off my list. Patriot Smokes will be available for pickup or delivery in Lebanon at class or study groups and whatnot. They're going live on TremisDynamics.com as soon as this live stream is over and I can get down there and Mommy's apple juice and Simon's apple juice. I still have some of that apple juice that you delivered in the refrigerator. Jen and I couldn't decide if you brought that for her or for me, because I said, well, you got the wine, dear. The reds must be for Gary. And she said, I don't think Crystal was bringing anything for Gary. And I said, if she expected me to deliver it, there is some sort of fee involved with that. Ooh, Puppet Master meat. Oh, it never ends. I do not know, Adam. Adam asked about how the Patriot smokes compare to the Lifeboat smokes. I have a fella who is going to bring me some Lifeboat smokes. In fact, it's a fella that I've already mentioned by name in this chat room. When he comes here, he is going to bring me a couple of those, and we're going to at some point use one, and I will video it. So I might just even bust out one of my Patriot smokes at like similar times and do like a head-to-head and see. I wasn't going to rat you out, Joe. And we'll see like how they compare. I'm sure Yan would be interested to know as well, because I don't, and all the testing that they did, like when they talked about it, they compared it to a military smoke. So if they did any lifeboats, he didn't mention it to me. So maybe we'll get him some data as well. Yes, the reds were for me. I doubt Jen's watching, but if she is, baby, those are mine. That's right. So, Adam, if you want to know how they compare with a good, honest answer, tell Joe, who just posted up right above you, to get his ass out here from New Jersey for a study group or a class. Like either one's fine, but like he's welcome to study groups, and he can bring him with him. Just, like I've been harping on him and he ain't here. So maybe he needs some extra help from my favorite hall. Oh, Stephanie might be my favorite, but like certainly tied for second. John Wilburn, hello, sir. Haven't heard from you in a while. Well, I think you checked in here the other week, but I mean, like chit chat. Man, you're throwing down the gauntlet, Adam, to Stephanie. That's pretty bold. That's bold. She's a redhead. Like she will stab you and not feel guilty about it. Right in the heart with your own face. Like that's what redheads do. They're not to be trifled with. Now, Adam, if you had talked to Jerry about class hosting people like you said you were going to, then you could maybe, move up a step, tie her maybe. Don't know. Because I think we had that conversation, or you're about to tell me, nope, you did not have that conversation with me. And then I'll feel like an idiot because I don't remember who I talked to. So back to my list. Speaking of hosting people, up here, we have a Puerto Rican redhead, like Javier. I don't even know how you are alive. But hosting, Dawn Numbers will be here in Pennsylvania, back at Lebanon, August 22nd and 23rd. I am nearly positive that he is going to be doing a an advanced rifle class. So if the first one he did here in February was your basic class, for lack of a better term, I don't think anyone that took it would call it basic. This is the one after that. So August 22nd and 23rd, numbers defensive here, back here in PA. The following week, I'm pretty sure, like it's only like 2 or 3 days after Dawn is here. Sonny Puzikas will be back. He is here August 25th through the 30th. He has 3 2-day classes, an advanced pistol, an advanced rifle. Like both, I think, are the 2, like Shooter Fighter Matrix 2, AK Knowledge 2, or AK Knowledge, or however you fucking pronounce it. And Cuddles with Sonny's. That you can't just sign up for. You have to get in touch with him and make arrangements, because in case you get hurt. All right, Adam, we'll be in touch and get you that. Not obviously while we're in the middle of a live stream. Gary Ernest, Dawn is putting it live on the Numbers Defensive website. I assume it's like numbersdefensive.com. This is normally where Crystal pipes in with a link to Numbers Defensive. And I don't know if it's live yet. I talked to him last night, and he said he was going to put it live. I just don't know if he had done it yet. Yes, that's how I look at travel or training with Sonny. Is first and foremost, you must survive. And if you survive, there'll be plenty of learning, because, man, it's rough. It's hard on the ego, and it's hard on the body. John Milburn, steering wheel wrap. I do not have that on my new Tacoma, because I have not taken the few hours to set aside and do it. I've owned it for a year. I'm a horrible person. So yes, the rest of this year, Numbers Defensive will be back. Sonny will be here, and Dave Biggers will be here. All will be doing a rather advanced carbine class. Dawn's advanced carbine class, one of Sonny's 3, will be an advanced carbine, and Dave is doing the carbine version of the Red Zone. He is, I believe, doing a pistol version of the Red Zone he wants to do it at the end of June in Tennessee. I have not heard if, I talked to Dave like 2 or 3 days ago, and he just had to confirm with somebody, Carson, Billy Sapp, I don't know, somebody about the range and stuff, and I don't know. But so lots of advanced carbine stuff coming up, a lot of advanced carbine stuff, and 2 Biggers Red Zones in 1 year, because the other one was last year. So yeah, 2 this year. Oh, that reminds me. In addition to those 3 being hosted here, also Zach Bush will be here, Definitive Training Solutions, in October, I want to say the 15th. Entangled Gunfighting is going to happen also at the same range in Lebanon. And so there's a lot of cool shit happening here in PA. And there's, of course, a bunch of cool Tremis Dynamics classes. I also have a not basic carbine class coming up. Dynamic carbine is in July, I believe, in July. And then it's kind of the last one, but standalone. There's a dynamic week in October. It used to be a carbine class, but now it's the whole week. So lots of advanced carbine coming around up here, and some weird shotgun stuff. Or no, not shotgun, entangled gunfighting, little pistol stuff. Joe, I will let Don know, make a Facebook event, and then the club can share it and co-host and that kind of thing. And Adam, you definitely need some Red Zone in your life. Absolutely, you need some Red Zone. So Don checked off, Sonny checked off, and Zach checked off. Make sure I get everything perfectly commented here. So yeah, I'm going to get lucky here. I will be at both of the red zones. The one in Tennessee in June, as long as that rolls through and happens, I will come down and assist Dave with it. And then when we host them up here for the carbine version, I will assist him again. Dave's like 105 years old. So at this point, he needs somebody with some youth to keep the ball moving when he needs to take a breather. You can't help it. I mean, the dude's old, but that's what I'm here for. That's what brothers do. Look out for each other. And I let him sit down in the shade, and then I go out in the sun for him, and I won't even let him pay me for it. Well, if I go to Tennessee, I let him buy gas. Oh yeah, Adam, I will be there. I assume that you'll be there as well. Well, at his age, the hearing's probably long gone. Ceasefire. Kapow! You guys are awesome. Somewhere right now, Dave's ears are ringing. Wants to know why people are talking about him. All right, so I got my things checked off my list. Were you all aware, and some of you probably are, but some of you may not be, that if there is one of my classes that you want to take and you sign up for it while states are still closed down, if you are an alumni of mine, you just send me an email and let me know you want to come, and I will send you an invoice that's not due till next year, like a year from the day you sign up. If I don't know who you are and you sign up with and just pay the deposit of $100, I'll invoice you the balance due a year from the day you sign up. So if you are trying to get some classes in and money happens to be tight because everything shut the fuck down, I will hook you up and basically extend a line of credit for 12 months for the cost of a class. So don't forget that that's going on. I'd hate for somebody, what I don't want to hear is somebody like in the fall say to me, man, I wish I had some money when I was out of work because I had enough time to come to class. And now I don't. I have no time, but I'm back to work. So if you got the time, but you ain't got the money, shoot me an email and we'll get you squared away. Javier, 2 states away. That's probably the closest the red zone's going to get for a little while. I don't know if he intends to go any further south with it. He might, but he hasn't mentioned it to me. And he pretty much runs all that by me to see if I'm available to go with him. Let's see what else happened. This last Sunday, I did an online version of my bug out seminar. It went remarkably okay. If you are one of my patrons, we recorded it. It's in 2 pieces. One is about the planning of your bug out, and the second part's about the gear used on your bug out. I'm going to make those private videos that patrons can watch at their leisure. So if you didn't catch it before and you are a patron, you can go catch it once I share it. I got to get them uploaded, and because they're big fucking files. I got to go through and edit them. And there was like a 3-hour seminar. So it's going to take me a minimum of 3 hours to edit it, to go through and make sure they're, not me rambling on and on like I do on a Tuesday night live stream. So yeah, if you are a patron, you'll get a chance to see it. If you are a patron, the next time I do it, I'll send you the link again and you can participate in it live. Because I think there's value to participating in it more so than just watching it. Because when you participate in it, you have a chance to specifically like say, hey, I got an idea or a question, and bounce it back and forth. But if you're unable to make it at the time frame, then you can always watch it and hear other people ask questions. So yes, it is going to happen again. Just don't know when. The folks that did caught the seminar Sunday, was it Sunday? Yeah, I guess it was Sunday. I promised you guys a PDF handout, and it is coming. I just forgot until I was reminded today that I was supposed to do that, and I hadn't. So probably tomorrow morning, I will take the PDF and send it to the emails of the folks that were in the seminar. The rest of you can get it later. It's actually, strangely enough, that handout it's not even a great handout, but it inspired me to write a book on bugging out. And so far I have an outline and that's it. So it'll be a little ways off because instead I also decided I would like to write a book on shooting pistols. And that one seemed more entertaining to me when I was in the mood to be writing. So that's the one that I did the bulk of the work for. Low light and mindset online. Probably not the low light because it's very interactive with the students and we need to do a good chunk of it with the lights out. Like we demo stuff in the dark with blue guns and whatnot. And I don't think that I have the capability to set somewhere up to do that where we could film in the dark and like talk in the daylight. Like that would be real hard to do. The mindset's possible, I suppose. You might be onto something there, Adam. Remind me to give you credit for that if and when I do that. That was pretty good. The scofflaw one will not be done online. Like before you ask, that's not going to happen online. I actually ran the bug out one kind of like as a test to see if it would be something that worked well enough to do again. And I didn't get a ton of feedback from the folks that came into the last one, so maybe that's a bad sign. But the little feedback I got said, hey, you should keep doing this with other stuff too. So I might expand it, maybe do some just totally freebie ones about more basic stuff. Yeah, I'll have throw me some ideas. I like what Sonny did with his last one, and I didn't even see it because the last couple of weeks, Mondays have not worked out well for me to catch his WebEx seminars. But the last one, like the subject of it was appendix carry. I think it was more about the appendix draw, not so much appendix carry. And that seemed very interesting to me that he took a subject and like we know that Sonny's real good at delving deep into one particular subject. So he took an hour or two, I can't remember how long that seminar was supposed to be, to put just down into, drawing a gun from an appendix holster. And there's a lot of room there. There's a lot of subjects that we cover in class, a block of instruction that we could probably spend a lot more time on. But as you all are aware, when you go to a class, the two options are spend a lot of time on a small number of things and focus real hard on them, or spend a little bit of time on more things so that you can be exposed to more at once. And that's kind of what I like to do at class so that you have more things to work on when you leave. There we go. Joe Bastilli says that he enjoyed it and I should do more. Oh, John, awesome. Thanks for the kind words. Oh, the next one's on 90-degree turns. That's going to be good. Like that's going to be good. And I'll tell you what. So like Sonny's good at a bunch of stuff. The two things that I really like to hear Sonny talk about, two more than anything, is the thinking aspect of fighting and movement. Like those, I just sit enthralled. So I like it. That's all right, Scott. You can make up for it at the next actual bug out and you can interact with a bunch of us. Since I have some of you here that might come on the next bug out, I've had a number of requests to change the bug out from Halloween weekend to a different weekend preferably earlier in October, not into November. If anybody has any issues with making it not the weekend before, but I think 2 weeks before, let me know. Because I'm thinking that might be the case. I just opened my calendar here. So currently, Bug the Fuck Out 12 in a study group format is scheduled for the 31st of October. That's Halloween night. The week before is the 24th, 25th, and I have a concert ticket to go see Megadeth and Lamb of God. So I'm thinking maybe like the 17th, 18th. There is 18th of the month is a scheduled study group. So that particular study group could turn into a bug out study group if there are some folks out there interested in changing from the 31st to the 17th. Or I shouldn't say that there are people not averse to that idea, because I have a few people who want to make that change, and I'm willing to accommodate them if it makes sense. All right, so I missed some comments here. Cult movement, yes, it's so like I'm a big fan of movement. I move pretty well. In fact, I can quote Pat McNamara as saying Gary has a great gait, and he was talking about this Gary. And I still learned a lot about movement. And yes, I love his explanation of whys, which falls into what I was saying earlier about the thinking aspect. Like, he just doesn't say, hey, this is the best method I've seen, so we'll do that. He'll tell you what makes it better than the other methods he has seen. He'll also tell you the flaws he sees in the method, even if it's the one that seems to be best at this moment. And then loves to have a discussion about, like a roundtable discussion, back and forth, some dialogue about any ways to counter the flaws that he sees in the what. So yeah, it's great talking to him about the thinking part and the movement part are good shit. So let me check off the bug out, because I wanted to ask about bug out dates. So if you are a bug out or planning the next bug out, think maybe the middle of October. It should also be essentially 2 weeks warmer. So maybe we can go with a summer weight bag instead of a winter weight bag. Maybe. All right. So I got everything on my list off the table. I have stuff for a Tuesday night auction, but I forgot all about it until I was walking upstairs to start the live stream. So no Tuesday night auction. Next week, we'll do a Tuesday night auction on the high threat concealment pistol belt without any other Kydex crap bolted to it, just the outer belt and the inner belt. The inner belt is a black size 36. The outer belt is a tan large. So if you're looking to get that, hang tight. It's coming next week. If I remember. Like, don't pressure me to remember, because I'm old and I forget. Also, this coming weekend is Memorial Day, and my son's birthday is this weekend. But the following weekend, 29th and 30th, if you do not know how to use a map and a compass and travel using both of those, there is a land navigation field exercise class I think now it has been moved to Northern Maryland, but Lodestone Training and Consulting is doing a land navigation course. Does not require the shooty stuff. So if you can't find ammo, like none of us can, you won't need any. So it would be a good skill to have. TJ, thank you, sir. I will pass that message on to him. He is over that way somewhere at the moment, I believe. But I will let him know that you have wished him a happy birthday. And that reminds me, TJ, when you come here in July, bring some whatever type of tools you would use to make a nut for a guitar tell me what nut I should go buy, and I will have it waiting here for you. And it would be awesome if you could fix the nut on my Jackson. So, woohoo. Jeff, I will pass that message also on to Benjamin. Javier wants to know what I think about the Winchester lever action rifles. So, I was bequeathed a Winchester Model 94, 7. It must have been, I don't know, one of them cowboy guns with the saddle ring. Yes, 94. That makes sense. And the when I was a child, it was a family member. I was still a kid. I wasn't really a child. I was a young adult. A family member stole said rifle from our house, so I thought it was cool. And Winchester has some sentimental value to me. That particular one does, of course, but I don't really shoot lever actions to know like how a Winchester compares to a Henry, compares to a Marlin, etc., etc. When I buy a lever action, it's going to be a Marlin, but mostly because the gun's going to be a tribute to a fella, and he was the only person to use a lever action in the Vietnam War, and it was a 444 Marlin. So my tribute rifle will be a 444 Marlin. Awesome. TJ, I was reading yours. Awesome. I will. Yes, we could chit chat tomorrow, and I'll find out whatever measurements you need. I got like calipers and stuff, so I can get you a pretty specific measurement. Scott, yes. Did he? I don't know if he told you where the location is. Like who owns the location? So it is the only one I can think of where I would question too whether the dog would be cool or not, because oh damn, some of my friends are sending me pictures of me on their TVs. So thanks, Tim, for putting me on the big screen. But yeah, where was I? Scott, I would check with him on the dog thing, because he will be more responsible for everything that happens than he normally would be in a class. If that gives you any indication about what area we might be using. So I would double check. Iroquois Foreskin wants to know if he missed anything. Dude, I went through the whole fucking list. You did not miss much if you just got in here. Paul Barlow, hello, sir. I got through my whole list, but it's not really that awesome of a list. It's just a list. The most important part is if you like mead, Grenfell Meadery in Vermont will mail you mead, and this Valkyrie's Choice at 6.9% ABV is pretty tasty. And I'm just about out of it. That's a shame. Well, out of this can. So I tried to order some rum, and they said we can't ship to Pennsylvania. I ordered mead, shipped it right in. Makes no sense. Our state's fucking retarded. The executive branch of our state is fucking retarded. The legislative branch isn't too shabby. Judicial branch, it's a crapshoot. But man. Oh, Jim says hello. Well, tell Jim hello. I haven't talked to him since I went down to Keith's house. Hopefully everything is doing fine. TJ, this stuff was actually made in your home state, in Colchester, or however you pronounce it in fucking Vermont. Colchester, Vermont. It's pretty good stuff. So the only high threat concealment stuff I saw was the belt that we auctioned off, and it seemed very like, because all the Kydex pieces were like bolted to each other, so it made this very rigid belt, and I wasn't a big fan of that. The Unity clutch is looks pretty cool. I think it has a lot of usability. However, for concealment, the more V-shaped your body is, like men are supposed to be, the better it will work. So as you put things in it, and it makes the middle part wider where the clutch is at, if your shoulders are already wider than those, it makes it super easy to conceal. If you're like me, and in your later years, you put on a little more in the middle, where some, depending on which direction we're looking, the middle is wider than the top, and other places it's a little skinnier. Like, it makes it more difficult to conceal with it, but I think it's pretty bang, and the idea behind it is really good. The HTC just seemed so rigid. I wasn't a big fan of all the rigidity. So, Brian Stevens, hello, sir. I still have a pistol slide for you. I'd show you, but the YouTube doesn't allow that on live streams. You can only do it on pre-recorded stuff, no guns. So Adam says that Vermont's the weirdest state he's been to. Louisiana's second, but a different kind of weird. Man, I lived in California. That was pretty fucking weird. But as far as like people, the weirdest people come from Oklahoma. Like, man, oh man. Just when I was in the Navy, every weird fucking dude at my command was from Oklahoma. It's like, it was bizarre. Like, a new guy come, and we'd be like, man, that motherfucker is weird. And then we'd make a wager. Like, is he from Oklahoma or somewhere else? Like, it never was, where do you think he's from? Is it Oklahoma on one half, and the other half was anywhere else? And it was a 50-50 thing. Oh, is that where that weird show was from, Oklahoma? Well, that fits what my experiences then, because everyone tells me that show's pretty fucking fucked up. That one's empty. It's time for the Psycho Pomp Sour Cherry Mead from Havoc Mead, which is a brand, I believe, of Grenfell Meadery. Birth defects. Sour cherry it is. Actually, there's the honey. I didn't think there was even a honey flavor to it. That's good stuff. Strangely enough, Adam, he says Vermont's nothing but cults, skinheads, and backwoods trash. I know people from Vermont that are relatively normal, but the first time I went to Vermont, it looked like a fucking like an old gold rush town. Like, everything was dilapidated, and what few metal pieces were around were rusty. Concrete was crumbling. Wood was dry rotted, and I was like, are we in like fucking somewhere in Africa? Like, this place is a fucking disaster. So yeah, it was that part was bizarre, but most of the people I met have been pretty all right. Then I went to Maine, and Maine is way more fucking rundown than Vermont. So I kind of scratched Vermont off my list of rundown. Oh yeah, the Grenfell Meadery. So what I got was I ordered a 24-pack of varieties shit, and it had like a bunch of different 4-packs in it. And this is the third one I've had. The Valkyrie's Choice was earlier. Earlier today, I had Old Wandering Man or Old Wayfarer. Old Wayfarer. Both of those were a different type of just the normal honey flavored. And then this one, Grenfell, like one of their brands is Havoc, and it's the Psycho Pomp and sour cherry. It's pretty delicious. Ooh, Ohio and South Michigan. Out of Ohio looks like a lot of Pennsylvania, like old steel towns and old coal towns that are poor. But man, South Michigan, specifically Detroit, man, it looks like a fucking war zone. So they filmed the new Red Dawn there, and they basically came in and rented out like the Packard fucking building factory, and because they needed some place that looked like it was war torn. And rumor has it, like my parents live in just north of Michigan in Roseville. Rumor has it they had to rebuild part of the area they were filming in so it didn't look completely decimated. Like they wanted it to look like a war had been there and not like a nuclear holocaust. So it's, your fucking city's bad in a first world country when they have to rebuild it to make it look war torn. Yeah. Iroquois foreskin. He's in South Michigan and tells you Detroit sucks. From Centralia, I am probably 25 minutes away, 20 minutes away. Every time I go to the range, I got to drive through it. So like I'm in Centralia like twice a week, or going through Centralia twice a week. Somewhere on my YouTube channel, like this channel that you're watching, is a video of me driving around Centralia. Finally, an actual question. What are we now? Like 49 minutes. It's not really the first one, but Mike Pereira. I'm terrible with fucking pronunciation. How many tourniquets do you run on your shit hits the fan setup? So my chest rig setup for if like I knew I was going to a fight, the one I would wear has 2 horizontal tourniquets underneath the magazines and a tourniquet in the pull-out tray on my med kit. And that is it. 3. So there are 3. The Road was filmed in Pittsburgh. I did look. Police work trying to look like the book. Pittsburgh has got a lot of rundown. I believe that. Dude, 20 viewers for a podcast. That's awesome. Imagine what it'd be like if like 100 people were watching. I think the time I had 80 was the least enjoyable Tuesday night live stream I ever did. Las Vegas, New Mexico is pretty badass. I don't remember seeing anything that made me think of No Country for Old Men, even though I know that was filmed there too. But there were a few awesome spots of Calumet. Tourniquet mounted to the rifle sling. I don't have one. I don't want extra crap on my rifle sling. I keep the sling mostly stowed tight and flat to the rifle. Also on this channel is a video talking about how to store a rifle sling so that it doesn't get hung up on shit in a car. And I leave it like that most of the time. So I'm trying to keep it like as flush to the rifle as possible and not dangling, usually not around my neck. So adding an extra pouch or something on it not ideal for me. The John Wilburn has been to the Gettysburg battlefield. It's pretty cool. Like, I could spend a whole day just at Devil's Den, or I would say at least a whole day at Devil's Den and Little Round Top, between the two of them, without going anywhere else. And it's hard to stand at the high water mark and not have an emotional connection to the place, because you know, the old saying that, you know, if it wasn't for the nail, the horse could have had the shoe, and if the horse had the shoe, they could have had the wagon, then the wagon made the skirmish, then the skirmish made the battle that changed the war. That kind of, you know, how it extrapolates from something small that has such a vast reach, and that high water mark, to know that so much of our modern history was determined on that one spot. And for those of you that aren't aware, the high water mark at the Battle of Gettysburg is the spot during Pickett's charge, the only spot where they penetrated the Union lines. And there was a moment where it could have went either way, where they had made that penetration. And essentially the tide of the Civil War was turned at that battle, and the tide of that battle was turned at that spot. And I believe in that little squared off section called the high water mark, I believe there were 4 Congressional Medal of Honors awarded for the fighting that took place there. So that's pretty, it's a momentous spot to stand, to know so much history happened. You know, things changed right there. How do you not like Aaron's hoodie? Like, the dude you work with is a piece of shit. You can tell him I said so. You can be like, hey man, I just watched a live stream last night, and the dude giving it says you're a piece of shit. Yes, Joe Murray says a lot of American history from Pennsylvania. A lot of Revolutionary history happened here as well. You can still go to Independence Hall, and it's a heavy room to stand in that room. Think of the men that were in that room before you, and what they did while they were there. It's a heavy feeling. It's rough. Lightweight, 3 or 4 on my plate carrier. So Mike says he got 3 or 4 on his plate carrier. I assume we're still talking tourniquets. And I don't have anything on my plate carrier. My plate carrier is totally slick. I use the Mayflower clips to hook it onto a chest rig onto it. And the chest rig's where I got the tourniquets at. I do have also run a bandolier. I run a 308 bandolier for my long gun with the 4-14 scope on it. So if I want to take a long range gun with me, I can grab rifle, sling it, and grab the bandolier, sling it, and have a few extra bags for it, and still have my small gun. Oh, mags. And I may have missed a comment in there because maybe because it happens a lot. So I run 6 mags on my chest rig, and it's a 3 mag shingle with the bungees and a 3 mag shingle on top of it, the Blue Force gear with a 10 speed. So if I don't want to run 6 mags and I take the front ones out, the 10 speed collapses, so it's not a big bulky thing. So I can run anywhere from 3 to 6, and it doesn't really change. I don't have a lot of extra baggage from downloading. Oh, surplus store selling in-date soft tees for $10. I'd have bought every one they had. I don't even care if they're out of date. As long as they're still in a wrapper, sun and dirt are what kill a tourniquet. So there's no, everything has to have an expiration date if it's a medical device, but what the fuck expires on it? UV rays will degrade the synthetic material in there, and like the cloth stuff, not the metals. And grit will, like, you get them dirty and then they get flexed a bunch. That'll actually cut the fibers. The dirt will, but if it's still new and in good shape, I don't care if it's expired or not. So I usually run, like, I have a mix of cat tourniquets, and the new Recon tourniquet it's like a cat with a metal windlass, and at the little red tip where you would, the end to grab and pull tight, there's a hole in it. So if you have degraded ability with your hands, like your fingers have been fucking blown off, or your hand is going numb from lack of blood flow, you can, like, literally stick a thumb through the hole to pull it tight before you start cranking. I don't know if it's that big of a deal, but it is a nice little extra feature. But from Recon Medical, they're $15. So you can get two of them for the cost of a cat, and the windlass is incredibly stronger. I have one of those tourniquets that I use in class that has been applied at full strength hundreds of times, slathered in a number of liquids, and it still is working great. I'm going to keep using it until it fails, so I can say, hey, at 375 full tightness applications, it finally stopped working. Not that I think tourniquets need to be used like twice, but if you're going to test one to the failure point, you're going to use it more than once. So Recon has, knock on wood, been running really strong. And so I bought a bunch of extra ones. Nice in-date quick clot for cheap. That shit's not cheap normally, so scoop all that up you can as well. Which one's the Minuteman? Is that the one that opens, or is that the Swamp Fox? I suck with the model numbers. I have one of each. I prefer the one that doesn't open up in the middle, because there's an extra spot for a magazine. Uncle Guns, not a problem. It's my pleasure to share whatever info I got. TJ, I'm not a fan of battle belts. My belt has a pistol and pistol mags on it, and my chest rig has the rifle stuff, and they are independent of each other, can be worn together, can be worn apart. And when you are here in July, you'll probably get a chance to see a couple different people's setups and things you may or may not like. And I'm sure everybody will let you finger fuck or try out all your any of their stuff. However, since you've got like a 26-inch waist or something, I don't know if anyone will be able to lend you their shit to use and try out belt wise, because the rest of us are adult sized. So yes, the Swamp Fox is the one that opens. So I have a white one, Swamp Fox, and a couple of the Minutemans, and I like both of those. If Blue Force Gear makes it, it's good. Their minimalist stuff is super light. And like, I have a plate carrier for size small plates. Blue Force Gear does not make one for size small plates, only medium and large. If they say it fits small poorly. But I don't need a big cummerbund on mine either. It's just two straps with a Cobra buckle. And there was a question. Forrest Smith, by the way, good day, sir. Bug out trips. Do we light fires? We do. Not because it's recommended that you have a fire in the sense of, if you want to remain unfound, lighting a fire would be stupid. But we talk about lighting fires because sometimes you have to light a fire so you don't die. And the bug outs really have never been cold enough, if people had the proper gear, that we needed a fire to keep them alive. But when we talk about all the different ways of lighting a fire, like the aforementioned Zippo I was playing with, or using a Bic, or I believe over here I have a ferrocerium rod, and people talk about what they have in their bug out kits if they haven't used it. So then we break out the stuff and we try it. Like last time, we certainly didn't need a fire. It wasn't cold enough to need a fire, but we used one of these Blackbeard fire starters to light a fire, mostly because we wanted to see how well they worked. And by the way, they get my thumbs up of approval. I keep meaning to make a video, and every day I just don't get around to it. So I'm terrible. So yeah, TJ, if you don't, when you get here for the rifle class, if you put rifle mags in your back pockets, and you'll be fine. Like you could get by with that with no problem. However, I also have a couple chest rigs here. If you want to borrow one and try it, fucking, you're more than welcome to. Adam Hall, yes, the Yaesu VX6R is the radio I am going to get. I have a right over there, Quan Shang. I think I have 5 more of them downstairs. I have gone through 4 or 5 Baofangs, and I've decided that the submergible aspect of the Yaesu is worth the money. Like just straight up worth the money. A Vepr 12, no. I only do 1 shotgun class a year. In fact, I taught a shotgun class in February of this year. I think the last time I taught a shotgun class before that was probably February or March of 2016. So I don't do a ton of shotgun classes, and I've not seen a Vepr 12 come through any of those. I hit 9 o'clock. Damn. It's all right, TJ. You can walk around at home like a dork. So check this out. You get your test rig. You bought it. It looks cool. You put it on. You look at it in the mirror. If you wear it for a couple hours doing shit around your house, like you go make breakfast, take garbage out, and you find that there's something you don't like about it while you're doing that, you'll fucking hate it during class. So put it like that's a pressure test of your gear, completely separate from going out and shooting with it. If you can't just wear it and do things and it not bother you, it's time to ditch it. And you can save yourself the headache of figuring that out at class. All right. So I'm at an hour. I'm going to punch out of here. As soon as I go downstairs and get on my other computer, I am going to make Patriot Smokes live if you need them. Don't forget Don Numbers, Zach Bush, Sonny Pazikas, all coming to Pennsylvania this year. If you want a class from me and you don't have money for the class, shoot me an email and I'll invoice it for some later date. We're going to change the date of the bug out, looks like, probably, unless somebody bitches. So that's my summing everything up. Get yourself some Renfell meadery meads because they're badass. And with that, I will talk at you all some other point. Later.